Hello everyone, it's Des coming back to you. So this video is about self-love, and when I first thought about doing this video, I was like, let's look all pretty, let's do my makeup, let's, really just put myself out there and look cute and nice. But the reality of it is, like, self-love is actually pretty raw, and it takes a lot of inner thought and being comfortable with yourself, honestly, without makeup or without what you put on. Self-love is taking a look at who you are, understanding where you are, and giving yourself grace. Self-love is letting yourself know that what you're doing may not be the best things that you're doing. And I'm going to be fixing my hair while talking to you about self-love, because I also think self-love also, me and my hair have not really had the best relationship, and it's only when I take care of my hair that it starts to flourish. So honestly, self-care and natural hair kind of go hand in hand, because in terms for me, I have to be more comfortable with my natural hair. I'm really not comfortable with my natural hair, y'all. And sometimes I just don't have time to take care of it. I don't have time to really nurture it the way that it should. But at the same time, this is my hair, it's gonna be on my head, and I have to nurture it the same way I nurture myself, my words, my body. And I only get one body, so I might as well take care of it. So what is self-love? Oh, by the way, I am using Lotta Body coconut and shea oils, Moisture Me. I actually really like it. I don't know if y'all do this little thing. I don't know what that is, but we're just gonna go ahead and do it. This is whatever that y'all do in these little tutorials. But so what I'm doing is, oh, I also have this coconut hibiscus thing, but newsflash, I put a bunch of water in it too because it ran out. So there's still a little bit of the hibiscus in there. I highly suggest it, Shea Moisture, but there's also just water. So I mean, you just want to spray it on there. Of course, part it out, spray it on there. Look, this is my natural hair. I'm figuring it out, just doing it one day at a time and taking care of it. But anyway, so let's get back to what self-love is. I have my laptop next to me as a guide with my notes, because a story about me, growing up, I actually had really, really low self-esteem, and I believe most of it came from other people's projections of their low self-esteem. So because I'm an empath and because I always want to make people happy, I kind of took what it was. Oh yeah, y'all see this. This is not pretty. This is just straight up naps. It needs to be combed out. Look at that. My comb broke and I can't find my big comb. So yeah, this is, ooh, it's a work in progress, Jesus. But that's what self-love is about. Self-love is about being a work in progress. But anyway, so it wasn't until me growing up, I was a person that used to care for everybody else but myself, I cared for everybody else but myself. I put in the time to listen to everybody else but myself. So there just came a point where I was giving my all to people and I would never pour into myself. So I remember back when I was in school, there was a guy that really didn't really didn't want to be with me, but would entertain me. And I thought he was the guy for me. And I gave myself to him. And, the feeling of giving yourself to somebody only for them to take all the love that you gave to them to somebody else is the worst feeling in the world. And I never wish that on anybody, nor do I want that to happen to me again. So after that happened, like, I felt empty, I felt disgusted, I hated myself, and that was the start of my journey of figuring out, well, who is Des? Like, I've been so just trying to just be there for everybody else, but I'm like, well, who is like, I lost my identity in somebody else, and that's not good. That's not the best. So you should always try to find your own identity within yourself without having to be persuaded, manipulated, or just, you know, put in a situation where you have no other choice but to be like somebody else. No, you should be yourself at all times. So that was my journey of self-love. Yes, I'm doing little baby Bantu knot things. So I tend to do good at that. I feel like I don't have enough hair. Hold on. I don't have enough hair to really do all the cute like Bantu stuff. Like, if somebody professionally knows how to do it, fantastic. I might have to hit them up, but I'm just doing this to, like, as a protective hairstyle. So what is self-love? Self-love is understanding who you are and loving yourself into the better version of who you want to become. That's my definition of self-love. So I'm gonna say that again. If y'all want to take notes, we can take notes, whatever. I take notes all the time. So self-love is understanding who you are and loving yourself into the better version of who you want to become. Okay? So what does this mean? This means that self-love is inward love. So it's how you see yourself and showing up for yourself when nobody is around, right? So when I told y'all about the story of me giving myself to a guy and being all that they could be, being all that I can for them without being all that I was to myself, I lost my identity. So I had to look inward and really take a step back and really look at myself, you know? So I guess this leads into, let me continue while I'm talking. I guess this leads into the question, well, okay, all right, so self-love is about, you know, understanding who you are. Well, how do I understand who I am? Like, how do I get to know myself again? Like, how do I even know how to love me? Like, I don't even know what love is. I've never had love. I've never seen love. So when you think about, like, where to start, where do you start when it comes to self-love? One thing that I know that I did, that I challenge you all to do, is to, one, literally go to a mirror. Go to a mirror and look at you and ask yourself, well, tell yourself, like, what do you see? What do you see? And when is the last time you've actually looked at yourself? I suggest doing it without any makeup. I suggest doing it without any, like, you know, your full raw self. Like, this is you, like, when you're going to sleep, or when you're not really trying to look like extremely cute, you know? Like, this is you when nobody sees you. Like, on a day where I'm just like, I'm chilling, I ain't trying to look, you know, like I'm about to head out somewhere, but I'm just, this is my raw form, natural hair and all, you know? Like, I had to really, like, just break down my own barriers of myself that I kind of put on myself, based off of how others saw me. So, you know, how do I love myself? Let's look about, so how do I love myself? Ask yourself, how do you love yourself? One, take a moment to look in a mirror and ask yourself, like, just look. What do you see? What do you feel? How do you feel? And acknowledge what you're looking at. Like, another thing, when you're looking at the mirror, say hello. Like, hi, you're talking to yourself. I am a firm believer of talking to yourself, because there's gonna come a day when, like, the only person you're gonna have to talk to is yourself when it comes to certain decisions in life, when it comes to certain, you know, when you're in a place like you don't know anybody, like, you're gonna have to rely on yourself to make decisions. So you have to be comfortable with yourself. And that involves you looking in the mirror, that involves you talking more to yourself, that involves you being open and understanding and giving yourself grace. Like, I'll never forget my mentor. Like, I was trying to figure out where I'm about to work, what I'm about to do, and like I was putting so much pressure on myself, you know? And she told me, like, give yourself grace. Like, you're working really hard already. So why not just take a deep breath and really focus on what it is that you feel is important to you right now. So if figuring out who you are and what you like, what you don't like, that's all a part of self-love. Hating yourself or hating the decisions you make, that's okay. But you can't hate yourself, because if you hate yourself, that means other people will start to see that and take advantage of that hate and hate you as well. The more love you give to yourself, the more love you will receive. The more hate you give to yourself, the more hate you will receive. And that's real. So you want to be in a position where you love yourself so much that you're okay by yourself. Like, you're literally okay. Like, I take myself out on dates. I give myself pedicures. Like, I go to the spa. I'm like, Desiree, where do you want to go today? You know, I think I want to go get my nails done. Okay, Des, what color you want to get? Like, I'm having a whole conversation with myself. Yep. Because at the end of the day, you have to be comfortable with who you are. Regardless of what other people think, if you're comfortable with who you are, nothing else matters. And life will be a lot less stressful, because you don't have to worry about appeasing to what the world expects of you. You don't have to worry about certain people trying to make you feel a certain way, because it's like, no, I know who I am. Don't. And then you'll start to see like who will put their emotions or their like feelings onto you, because when you know yourself so well, you know, like, that's not how I feel, that's not who I am, that's not really my opinion, that's not, you know, like, that's not really something I would think about, that's not something I would say. So the more you know yourself, the more you're able to decipher who could even be in your life, you know? Because the right people will be in your life the moment you determine what's right and what's wrong. And everyone has certain values that they live by. And if you love yourself enough to give yourself standards and values and boundaries, then the right people will respect those boundaries. And if you stand tall and really stand firm in your boundaries and let people know this is what it is, it might come off a bit strong, but guess what? This is something, because this is my life. I'm protecting myself, and there's nothing you can do or say to try to alter like my beliefs and who I am. You're not going to ever do that. So out of anything, self-love is about understanding who you are, understanding where you're trying to go, and not letting anything or anyone stand in your way, because that one person or that one idea could detriment your destiny. And that's real, especially when you're trying to pursue your purpose. Like, when you're pursuing your purpose, there will be a lot of distractions in your way. There will be a lot of people that'll try to project their things. Oh, I don't know if this is a good idea. Like, they say that now until the idea comes to fruition. Then what? You silence. So self-love is has a lot to deal with boundaries. It has a lot to do with how you see yourself, not how your parents see yourself, not how your relatives see yourself, not how your friends see yourself. It's how you see yourself first. How you see yourself first. If you see yourself as somebody that's smart, intelligent, of power, you know, wants to make a difference, then those type of people will gravitate to you naturally, you know? Now, one thing I will say is, in terms of friendships, in terms of values, you know, When you have good self-love, you're also open to having dialogue with people that may not have the same values as you, but you love yourself and you know yourself enough to understand where they're coming from without projecting your values onto them. Because, like it or not, one thing that I've also learned is people don't change unless they decide they want to change. It's not up to you at all, it's up to them. And you can't force people to change for anything. You can't. It's going to be up to them. You can try, but it won't last. Y'all see this. Y'all see how nappy this is. It's crazy. Like, look at this. I gotta like, what the heck? This is a true black, like, hair, okay? Like, this ain't that, like, nice, flowy, oh my God, like, look at it flowing in the wind. No, excuse me, this is stiff. This is curls. This is naps. I'm getting the naps out because I'm learning that you have to comb your hair. Like, I used to hate combing my hair. I used to just, like, be like, all right, it's just there. But you have to detangle it. You have to add conditioner. You have to take care of it. You have to, give it attention the same way you give yourself attention. So again, natural hair and self-awareness, they both go hand in hand, because the more you take care of your natural hair, the more you give it attention, the more it starts to grow. And the more you give yourself attention, the more you talk to yourself, the more you treat yourself, the more you are becoming more in tune with your body. And I believe in, the mind, the body, and I believe it's the spirit. So it's important to have all of those three things aligned: your mind, your body, and just your spirit. Because if one of them is off, then that means that, like, something could be off in your life. You have to make sure that you're aligned with yourself in all shapes and forms, because the more you're able to align yourself, the more you're able to think like yourself, the more you're able to move intentionally, and the more you're able to be more confident in yourself as well. So I'm doing this thing called the 100 Commandments of Confidence, and I think right now I'm on number 6. So self-love is about understanding who you are, and the more you love yourself, the more confident you become in yourself. And I truly believe when it comes to self-love, like, it's not something that happens overnight. The same way natural hair, like, is supposed to grow. It doesn't happen overnight, but you have to continue to nurture it. You have to continue to, oh, my naps, Jesus. Y'all see this? Like, this is crazy. And this is another thing. Like, you also, when it comes to self-love, I say look in the mirror. When I looked in the mirror the first time, like, ever since, like, I lost sight of who I was, I started to cry. I did, because I couldn't recognize myself. I couldn't recognize myself. I couldn't recognize, like, why I was acting the way I was. I couldn't recognize who, like, everybody else's, like, spirits and demons and attitudes and moods and perceptions, they were all in me. And so I had to cleanse myself of everyone. And honestly, when it comes to self-love, it does require a little bit of isolation, because you have to tune out the noise. You have to tune out, you have to tune out a lot of things. And at the end of the day, it's for the best, because you're trying to be the better version of yourself. And you won't really know that until you spend time alone, to be honest with you. So again, self-love is a journey. Self-love is a process, and you just got to start one day at a time. Another thing that I suggest when you're on your journey of self-love is journaling. Do you have a journal? I've been journaling for about, it's 2021 now. I think I've been journaling for probably around 4 years. I'm gonna say 4. I think I started around 2017. And that's a whole nother story, because 2017 was a year that it didn't necessarily change my life, but it brought me closer to God due to circumstances that involved guys. And you know, I do believe in God. I do believe in Christ. And sometimes God has to show you who you are, or showcase where you're trying to go through pain. And I experienced a lot of pain in 2017. And not only that, but I ended up going back to that pain the following year. So again, self-love is a journey, okay? And you have to just continue to fight for yourself and fight to be better. Like, you just have to fight to be better. One day at a time. Give yourself grace. And just know, oof, y'all look at this. Like, what the heck? Oof, I might have to add more cream to this, or I probably have to like put in another piece. I think I'm making it too. Yeah, I think I'm making it too. I ain't got that much hair though. I think I'm making it a bit, these knots a little bit too big, but I ain't got that much space in here. Like, I'm not the natural person to go to, but I know that I have to make an attempt to do better with my natural hair. So I'm like, let me talk to y'all and do this. So again, self-love isn't pretty. If you have any questions about self-love, if you made it this far to this video, definitely ask, because I've hit a point in my life where I really truly love me. I love me enough to like do some crazy TikToks. Like, you see, if you see me on TikTok at the Book of Des, like I make crazy TikToks. Like, it's just funny, but I'm comfortable like stepping out of my comfort zone, you know, because I love myself enough to know that like I'm goofy. I'm really goofy, but it's because like I love myself, and I know that at the end of the day, my goofiness is just another part of who I am, you know? And if I can use my goofiness, or use what I talk about to help other people kind of step out of their comfort zone, then I'm doing the right thing. I'm doing the right thing. So I think I'm gonna have to like take this one out and put it into 2, because this one's into 2. I'm not really an edge control type of person, because I really feel like people that be doing their edges ain't got no edges in 10 years, but that's another thing. I don't do my nails. Like, I don't get the little acrylics things, because the amount of money it takes to put money into getting your nails done, and then most of the time you break it, so you gotta pay more money to get it fixed. I'm just gonna stick with my clear and call it a day. But that's just me again. But I will tell you, I will spend money on my feet though. Sure will. Because my feet, I have really long legs. And right now, I'm working part-time at Home Depot. So I don't know if y'all know that, but I work part-time at Home Depot. At this point, I'm working part-time at Home Depot. But I just received an offer from a company, so that's exciting. And I'll be starting that in June. But if you haven't seen my video about me working part-time at Home Depot, it's really funny. It's good because I drive the forklift, I drive the reach, and I show y'all all the machines that I drive and how it works. So if you want to check that out, it's on my page, A Day in the Life, Book of Des, my Life at Home Depot, something like that. So yeah, check it out if you want to. And I do feel like this is purpose driven, because, you know, right now we live in a climate where you know, everybody looks kind of the same. There's no really identity. There's everybody kind of looking for themselves and other people, when in actuality the true greats are who they are, and they know who they are regardless of what people think or say. So That's self-love, really. And I think for me on my journey of self-love, some things that I've learned is, it's okay to take your time. Um, when you are on your journey of self-love, like journaling is really important. So just kind of take the time a couple days out of the week, or whenever you feel like you want to write, to just write how you're feeling. Like I write when I'm sad, I write when I'm happy, I write when I'm confused. And then when you write enough, you get to look back and see the perspective of where you were in the long run. And I look back on my journals when I was like back in 2017, back in 2018, because it's 2021 now. This video is in 2021 during the pandemic. We still in here. But at the same time, even during a pandemic, now would be the even better time, because another thing that I've learned, like because I did all my self-love work 2019, 2018, and 2020, like during this pandemic, I was still like, I gotta get stuff done. I gotta get stuff done. I did not let what was going on around me deter me from where I was trying to go. So I honestly think that I've worked my hardest during the pandemic, because the last 2 years before it happened, I was preparing myself and loving myself enough to know that regardless of what happens, I'm gonna work hard, and struggle don't last always. And I just pray that whoever is going through something right now, I just pray for healing, protection, and, like wisdom. So self-love also teaches you wisdom. And I believe that if you want to really have like that self-love mentality, find more people who also want self-love for themselves as well. This is what we got so far. I still got to do this side. So I'm going to do the whole video like while completing this. So we'll see how this happens. But if y'all want to write in the comments, like let me know like how your journey is of self-love, or if this helps. Again, if y'all have any questions regarding self-love, like this page is for y'all. Like it's called the Book of Des, and it's like the journey of self-love, business, and creativity. So self-love is understanding who you are, because I feel like you really can't get through anything until you really understand who you are and where you're going. Once you know that, you're able to use that in your business and in your creativity. Because a lot of times in the business world, especially in the entrepreneurial world, like how you feel about yourself, what's going on, is most times in entrepreneurial a reflection of your business. So if you're feeling like, I'm not worth it, I'm not going to do it, I'm not going to try, that same energy is going to be geared toward your entrepreneurship journey. When you're creative, like I even struggle. Like I'm talented and I'm good at video editing. I got a company, Promo Jones. You can check it out, promojones.com, if you need help with video editing. But like I, as a creative, like I definitely used to get low self-esteem, because I was like, well, nobody's gonna want to watch my stuff, nobody's gonna do whatever. But because I love myself so much, I'm like, you know what, I'm gonna do it in spite of, because at the end of the day, like I love myself enough to step out of my comfort zone and make sure that if I just put myself out there, I'm gonna give myself a thumbs up. I'm be like, all right, Des, you did this, you posted this, you did this, like it's all about self-encouragement. And no one's gonna love you more than yourself. No one's gonna encourage you more than yourself. And you just have to continue to just love yourself, love yourself, love yourself, love yourself. When you feel like you hate yourself, love yourself. Tell yourself it's okay. Like tell yourself, you know what, we're gonna get through this together. Like you really have to you have to be your own best friend. And yeah, that's pretty much it. So how do I love myself? We'll go through that. So when you get to know yourself, that's the main thing. So how do you get to know yourself? So one, like ask yourself who you are, like look in the mirror. Ask yourself, like, how do you see yourself? Like, I used to see myself one way, but like, I used to see myself based on how other people view me. It's not up to them, it's up to you. Like, it's up to me to showcase how I see me. Who do you want to become? Ask yourself, who do you want to become? Who do you want to be? And then last thing is like, who do you see that is what you want to become? So who are people already doing what you want to do, or who has a confidence that you aspire to have? And then see what they're doing and gravitate toward them. If you like what I'm doing, follow me, subscribe to me. Like I'm always here to encourage and uplift at all times, because I believe self-love is something that can literally change lives. And if you figure out who you are and love yourself enough to really stay true to who you are, you're unstoppable. You're unstoppable. Literally, you're unstoppable. So this is like my little rant of self-love. And I do talk a lot. I know that. I've learned that I talk a lot. But at the same time, I hope what I said or what I say holds value. So I'm actually gonna post this. Again, if you like this a lot, like, please subscribe. I'm trying to put my subscribers up, like the Book of Des, The Journey of Self-Love, Business, and Creativity. I'm an advocate for self-love. I am an advocate for entrepreneurship and business. Like, I do a lot in terms of business that I don't even really promote or talk about, but I do a lot in the entrepreneurial world, business world, and I want people to succeed. Like, I want young adults, young students, like, I want y'all to succeed. And there is enough room out there for you to thrive, and you can do it. And again, self-love will be your advocate and your guide to help you in everything else that you do. If you have self-love, if you love yourself, you can get through anything. You can get through anything. Like, I love myself enough to be in my robe talking to y'all while I comb out my nappy naps. Because these nappy naps are crazy right now. But this lot of body be working though. It really do. Look at the shine. I like it. I think I got one more left. So I think I might do these a little bit more. Like, just talking and being in my natural element. Because I really, like, y'all, I really was going to do something fancy and make something crazy. But I'm like, you know what, at this point, like, if I'm going to post videos, I might as well post and be my true self. Like, it don't make no sense to fake it. Why? It's my life. I'm showcasing who I am. This is the Book of Des, so y'all gonna see a bunch of chapters. Am I right? Am I right? But yeah, if you like what I see, Book of Des, the Book of Des on TikTok, the Book of Des on Instagram, the Book of Des on Twitter. We out here. And let me know your name. I'll follow you back. Like, just shoot me a message. Like, if this really encouraged you, just let me know. Like, hey Des, like, I really appreciated this. Tell me your stories if you have any questions involving self-love, or like how to really like kind of maneuver through it in spite of people that might not want to actively better themselves, because life is draining and people are indeed draining. And if you want to know how to kind of block all that out, I can let you know, because I'm not saying like, my entrepreneurial journey is different than my self-love journey, but they both were parallel to each other, and I can't have one without the other. You can't have one without the other. Like, because in most cases in entrepreneurship, you on your own. You are on your own. Oh my God. Look at the crunch. This is how you know I don't comb my hair out. So hopefully next time I talk to y'all, when I comb my hair out, this will be a lot better. Okay, and I also, I'll put this out there. So self-love, is found in different avenues. You can do self-love through books. You can find self-love through different YouTube videos and series, different podcasts. So some ways that help me like kind of build my self-love and people that I kind of aspire and love. Like, one of the questions, like, okay, well, who do you see that embodies self-love? One of the main people I see is Sarah Jakes. Sarah Jakes, Woman Evolved. She has Woman Evolved podcast. It's definitely really hilarious. She's very vulnerable. She's very open about her story. If you don't know who she is, she's a daughter of T.D. Jakes, a pastor based out of Texas. But now she's married to Torrey Roberts, and they have a church in LA and in Colorado. But she has Woman Evolved, that's her brand, and she has Woman Evolved podcast, just came out with a book, Woman Evolved. Like, I ended up getting her books. Like, she has other books like Don't Settle for Safe. I read that book. She had I think it's like Finding Love or something like that before. Like, before Don't Settle for Safe, she had another book before that. If y'all know the name of the book, put it in the comments because I don't remember it, but I definitely read it. It was really good. So that's Sarah Jakes. I love Amanda Seales. I love her because she's unapologetically herself. She's an entrepreneur as well, and she believes in fostering the Black community, which is something that I really enjoy and I believe in as well. She has a book called Small Doses. Is it Small Doses? Yeah, Small Doses, Potent Truths for Everyday Use. She has a book that I bought. She also has a podcast, Small Doses, on Spotify or any other like podcast network. So those are two ladies that I really love. I also love Yvonne Orji and Lovey. Like, I listen to their podcast they got. They stopped doing it together, but they're probably both busy. But I really love their podcast. They were looking for purpose and a good laugh. Like, I think that's like honestly, I believe it was like a God ordained podcast for this season because they definitely made this in advance. And I listen to their podcasts like over and over again because it's so good. Yeah, Yvonne Orji and Lovey, they have their own podcast. I gotta get the name, but they also have one too. Lovey, Professional Troublemaker, that's hers. It's really good. Anybody else that I've really liked recently, in terms of like relationships and bettering yourself, relationship. Oh, Joyce Myers, of course. I also listen to relationship wise. I listen to Tony Gaskins. I don't know if you know who Tony Gaskins is. Just look him up. He gives really good like relationship advice. He's been married for I think he said 15 years, got kids, and you know he was the player, and he's a coach. So I listen to some of his stuff to help me. Queenology. There's a guy, a preacher. He talks about like Queenology. Just look up Queenology, and you kind of understand your reference as who you are as a queen. So I've embodied myself more as a queen, and it's definitely a good podcast to listen, or not podcast, but more so a good set of videos to look at on YouTube. And anything else, I'll definitely put a list up, or at least like create another video that kind of jots out all the stuff specifically, but this is kind of like a dump because I just had to do this for myself, and it looks like it's pretty much finito. I'm excited. So that's pretty much it. The Book of Des, the story or the journey of self-love, business, and creativity. Subscribe. Just let me know if this is a video you like, you didn't like, and I look forward to making more. And I just wish y'all all the best on your self-love journey, because the moment you take that step in wanting to better yourself and wanting to get to know yourself more and wanting to just take a step back and love yourself and look at yourself, you know, you're one step closer to becoming a better you. So I'm excited to be a part of your self-love journey, and I hope that I can continue to grow with y'all on your self-love journey, while y'all grow with me on my journey. And you know, this is just one chapter, so welcome to this chapter of self-love on my YouTube channel, The Book of Des. So again, I appreciate y'all. Y'all have a great day, and love yourself, okay? Love yourself. Love yourself so much that it literally feeds your spirit, feeds your soul, because you're worth it. Okay, bye.